on your cruise comment, like not spending much time on the island, couldn't agree more. Jamaica gets a bad rap because so many people visit Jamaica for the first time in the cruise port, and they just get off on the cruise port, and yes, they're asking, yes, they try to sell you weed, yes, there's people there trying to make a buck. It's part of the local economy there, but cruise ports don't necessarily paint the whole picture of the island. Jamaica's a massive island, and we hear so many times.
Oh, I don't like Jamaica. It's sketchy.
It's dirty.
Okay, wait, where did you go? Oh,
homeless
I
dogs
stopped there on a cruise.
Yeah.
And no, you haven't been to the real Jamaica if you only stopped on a cruise.
Yes, give it a fair shot. Like that's like going to, no knock on Florida, but like going to the port of Port Canaveral and walking around a couple square miles and being like, the United States is overrated.
And, I mean,
it's not fair.
No, it's not fair. You cannot judge an island based on its cruise port. You have to get outside of the cruise port because there's so much to see. Other than that, you have to think these locals, they know, okay, here's a cruise ship with like 4,000 people about to get off. I can make some money because here's 4,000 people coming. So, yeah, of course they're going to hustle you and they might, come across as bothersome, but you don't ever judge an island based on its cruise port. And, another thing, speaking with the cruise, the all-inclusive, the cruises aren't. And if you want
buy your drinks.
If you want a soda, you have to pay to get a soda.
Unless you have a drink package, but you're paying for it.
Yeah, and by the time you buy the drink package, you're going to probably be spending, if you have like a balcony room, you're going to be spending more than you would with the all-inclusive.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. One thing I want to comment on the all-inclusive is we get a lot of people that come to us and say, I've been to all-inclusive. I did a Groupon for $799 to Mexico or something. And the all-inclusive experience is there's a guy grilling hamburgers and hot dogs on the beach, and it's a buffet. And then it's
just a bunch of buffets.
And you get a bunch of cheap beer and bottom shelf tequila, and that's your only option. And that's not really a true all-inclusive. We don't send people to those types of...
# you get what you pay for.
You always get what you pay for in travel.
Especially in the Caribbean.
And if that's your budget, $700 to $1,000, then you could do like a 3 or 4 night cruise and get way more value than going to...
Yes.
A property that might not be, who knows, as safe or as clean, or the food quality won't be as good. But try a Sandals or an equivalent property, and then make your judgment call on all-inclusive. Where I couldn't agree with you more though. Now, if it was me, let me ask myself the would I rather. I think it depends. I mean, if I had one choice and it was like my last trip, I'm definitely going to go all-inclusive. But there are some good cruises. Now, if I had $3,000 to spend for 2 people, I'd probably do an all-inclusive. Now, if I was just slightly lower than that, so like $2,000, I might look at some cruises.
Look at some cruises. And, and cruises, too, You
don't want to go too low on the all-inclusive.
No,
you don't want to go too low.
No, but if you've got $2,000 to spend and you're going with a group of people, it's hard to please everyone, with their interest and their budgets. So if you've got a group of people, a cruise is definitely a great way to go because there's lots of entertainment to suit everyone, and then you've got lots of different room categories that can suit everyone's budget. You've got the casino and all sorts of entertainment, so in that sense that's good for a group too. But if your group overall has a little bit bigger budget, then an all-inclusive would be a great option. I think it's a great way to end the show. But we do like to talk about travel news. So there's some great news. And listen, the news always had, like when you cut the news on nowadays, it's always bad. I'm getting to the point where I can't remember the last time I sat through an entire news segment. Because I don't let that kind of stuff bother me. If it's not in my control, it's really hard to let it bother me. But here's some great news. So teen on Alaskan Airlines. This is a headline here on Yahoo Travel News. Teen on Alaskan Airlines flight helps blind and deaf passenger traveling alone, and she goes viral for that. Well, at least it's some good news, finally.
How many kids? We need more kids to do, and I think a lot of kids would do that, but I'm so glad to see, and there's a video of it. It looks like one of the news outlets posted it. I'm sure it has gone viral. I haven't seen it on Facebook yet, but I bet their parents are extremely proud, because, I travel a lot, and we were actually on a cruise, and I did that, remember, on the
Oh,
the last
in
Princess Cruise.
Yeah, when we were on a Princess Cruise in the gym.
And these two.
There was There was actually a group of blind women or blind people on the cruise, but 2 women
went to the gym.
And I was like, oh my gosh, these women are lost. They're in the gym. They don't know where they're going. But no, they
wanted to work out.
They were there, and they were going to get on the treadmill, and they were going to work out. And
it's a very dangerous place to walk, I would think, as a gym. If you're blind or partially blind. I could tell I was working out. You were on the treadmill, so you didn't see them. They were kind of facing the other way. And I remember I was working out, and I could kind of see they were just frozen. And they just weren't moving. They kind of I could tell they were very in tune listening. And that's when I walked over there and said, hey, ma'ams, can I help you? And they said, yeah, we'd love to get to the treadmill. And then I instantly picked up that they either couldn't see very well or were fully blind. Walked them right over, got them going. And we were on Princess Cruise, and their staff is phenomenal. Their staff members must have been tied up because typically a staff member would have taken care of that. But happy to hop on. Not to give myself a Penyak travel plug here, but it's
nice to see something positive in the news for a change.
It's a little refreshing. We should do that every podcast now. Dish out some good news.
Yes.
# good news.
Good news from Penyak Travel.
We're not going to report bad news or crap news.
Well, there's nothing bad about travel, you know.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there can be, but
generally
speaking, norovirus on a cruise.
Yeah, generally speaking, there's nothing bad about it.
That is bad news bears. Well, anyways. This is our first show. I think we'll call it a wrap here. We've been going for 36 minutes. Can you believe that? First show.
Wow.
Goes by fast. See, I told you we would do this and keep going.
Now it's time for bed.
We got our animals up here with us in the studio here. But anyways, if you guys want any more information on anything we talked about, feel free to check out our website, penyaktravel.com. Like us on Facebook and Instagram. We're Penyak Travel on Instagram, Penyak Travel on Facebook. And I'm sure we'll make some social media posts about some of the things we talked about as we finally get our first podcast published.
And that's Penyak, Penyak.
Yeah, like pen, like you write with yak, Y-A-K. Yeah. So, subscribe. Thanks for listening. Feel free to rate and review, whether it's 1 star or 5 stars. We love the feedback. And really appreciate you guys listening, and we hope you guys have a wonderful day. Follow your travel passion, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.